Let's see. Yes, got it.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Hi everyone. Welcome to OpenEBS community meeting for the month of April. So there are a few updates that we would like to share in this meeting. So the first and foremost thing is uh, we got an enterprise Zoom account from the CNCF to host the future meetings from this meeting invite. So uh, the next meeting, which will be happening in the month of May, will be hosted using the enterprise Zoom account. So we'll be sharing those details on the Slack as well as um via, I think, the folks who will be able to register for that meeting, they should also be getting a notification. It's available on the Zoom on the CNCF OpenEBS calendar itself. Uh, that's one thing. So once we have this account, once we have the meetings on this account, we'll be able to run the meeting for a longer duration as opposed to the 40 minutes capacity that we have today. So that's one update. Uh, the second update that we would like to share is we made a recent patch release on my store. Uh, that is, I believe, 2.7.5. Right, Tiago? I think that was 2.7.5. Yeah, which has some important fixes. Uh, the details of the release should be available on the OpenEBS releases page. And the third update that we would like to talk about is our incubation application has not yet been processed. So I think we are fourth in the queue right now on the CNCF's roadmap. So hopefully we should be there soon. So at some point, I'm sure that we will start to know what's the next level or the next set of action items that we need to take for us to get incubated. Uh, yeah, I think that's majorly like a brief overview of the updates that we have. Uh, over to the others if we want to discuss about anything here.
One of the items on the cards is updating our CSI spec across our CSI drivers. So what that would mean for uh, the more stable drivers, the the local PVs from ZFS and I'm sorry, I think Abhinandan got dropped. All right. Uh, yeah, CFS local PV, LVM local PV, and Maestro will get updates to their CSI spec. They are going to be compliant with a newer variant of CSI spec and should go in the next release, most likely, I suppose. That's yeah.
Not much from me, just a small update. I think the IPv6 support on MyStar seems to be mostly complete. So we just need to add some tests now to the pipeline, making sure that we don't break it. But yeah. And just following on the 2.75 as well, by the way. So one of the changes that we've made is now there's a new health information for volumes. So we've noticed that some of the health reported by the volumes, particularly when the volumes are not published, is incorrect because it doesn't take into account the health of the online replicas. So we've added a new status mapping from the health of the replicas that we get from etcd to the volume that we return through the OpenAPI spec. So that is by default disabled on the 2.7 and 2.8, and it's enabled by default on the coming 2.9 release.
Okay. Should we check with John on any updates from his end?
Hello.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have too many updates. I actually shared them on GitHub just a minute ago. I thought the meeting was an hour earlier. Yeah, just wanted to ensure that we're going to require cert manager as a prereq. I wasn't sure if that was my decision to make, so I just wanted to double check on that. If that's the case, then I can make the changes in the extensions repo. I'll just plan to do that unless I hear differently. And other than that, yeah, I'm just still working on the gRPC changes. I had ran into some issues with after I configured the IO Engine server. I was making changes to Core Agent Client, and I was just having some difficulties with the registration. There were some changes made a couple of years ago in MyStore that we didn't pick up, where the gRPC endpoint in the register struct was changed to a socket address type. So I just needed to make a decision if I want to revert those back to a string or just work with the socket address. Unfortunately, at this time, I've had to pick up some I had to prioritize some other work, which I'm assuming will take a week or two. So I'm hoping to get back to those, to these changes very soon, as soon as possible. So that's where.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, yeah, that sounds good. And on the meeting, I also keep making that mistake of, especially in the stack storage, showing up 1 hour before or after. Always get the time zone wrong.
Yeah. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a daylight savings thing, but I've updated.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll have a new. I think we already mentioned, right? We'll have a new, now that we have a Zoom account. So there'll be another way of registering for these meetings. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier.
Cool. Yeah, congrats on that. It's wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
so
so
we
on
set up the
the
meeting. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to
no,
mention
go ahead,
that
Vishnu.
we set up the meeting based on the UTC time, so I think that's why it does not take into account any of the daylight savings.
Yeah, so on the, I think on the last, I can't remember if was it on the last community meeting, though I think we had touched upon this, and I think, or was it the maintainers meeting? No, so sorry, now I can't remember.
I
But
think it's the
I think
community.
that, oh, it was the community. Yeah, so I think there was kind of consensus around using the cert manager as a prerequisite, right?
Yes, I think that was the decision that took that time. I mean, that sounds legitimate. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
So John, on the other issue that you mentioned, are you still blocked on that, or like the socket?
I haven't had time.
Okay, sure.
So yeah, it's a matter of, like I said, I think it's just a decision that needs to be made to either revert the socket address or just work with that.
And is that because you want to pass something which is not a socket address to the?
Yeah, the way I did it before was that the gRPC endpoint there was a string type, And I just looking into, I spent a little time looking into like that change that was made. I think it was in 2022. But one of the comments on the PR for that was that you were seeing like two, like, I'm assuming there was like a situation where the scheme was prepended twice, which is actually an issue that we ran into, where I think it was the backward compatibility scenario where the endpoint and the scheme were stored separately, and in the backward compatibility scenario, the HTTP scheme was prepended on top of the HTTPS scheme.
Yeah.
So that's something we work around for. So we have that. That it's just a matter of that decision. Like if we want to keep the socket address type or revert that. So yeah, I just need time to look into it further, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and
Cool.
just feel free to ping us on the, if you raise a PR or whatever. And
Yep.
we can have a discussion there. Yeah.
So yeah, I have my changes on the data plane, the IO engine server, but I didn't want to PR anything until I tested it with Core Agent Client. So
yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else from anyone else?
Mohammed, anything from you?
Yeah. Can you hear us, Mohammed?
Yeah, the meeting end of the application is a bit buggy. I can hear sound in a lower volume. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm trying to understand.
So anything from your side on the LVM that you're working on, the LVM PR?
Yeah, I'm working on adding additional format options in
Format options,
LVM
yeah.
local TV, yeah. And since I was a bit newer into this project, so it took a bit longer, I think, and I had to complete the Next.jl first, and yeah, we had some comments. So I trying to debug the issue today. So I don't know when we can, when I have fixed it, but yeah, I'm trying to just fix the issue. I think the mechanism that I have changed is a bit buggy. I think I have to just take a look at it deeply. And as for profile local PD, I'm trying to refactor the file system support to be more standard. We use a single interface, so we can add more file systems later on. We can also add support for snapshotting and other features there easier with this refactor. But we are, I think, ready to release. I don't know if we can call it for release or not, but we are almost ready to release as we have tested, we have upgraded everything, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be good. I think there's might be one thing that we need to settle on, which is how do we want to manage the Helm chart versions? Do we want to keep a app version and a chart version separate? or do we want to use the same?
They're the same right now, but we have some
Oh, I thought they
scenarios
were
where we want
different.
to bump them up separately. I don't know. We can talk about this later on.
Yeah, so the Helm chart is 0.9 and the app is 0.8.
Yeah, that's because of my last changes that I have made to the Helm chart. So I had bumped up the chart version, but uh, before that they were the same. You know,
Yes.
both
Yes.
of them had the same version.
Yes.
Also, uh, the structure of the project has been changed to look like other local PVs, but some other things I think left, so they're not in my thing. I think we can just, there's something like licenses and openness of things and things like that. Yeah. Also, I want to mention that this project is using the non-standard Kubernetes client called KubeNG, I think. And I don't know if that's okay to keep it or we should refactor it to use the standard one, but yeah, it is an alternative client, not the official one.
Interesting.
So, do you know if that the one which we're using is maintained properly or by KubeNG, right?
I have not checked the library itself lately, but when I have upgraded the images, I think that the KubeNG is upgraded too, but I don't know if it's still maintained or not. And also, the project is using some other library called Munch for converting dictionaries into objects and things like that. And the project has a lot of, I think, magical things or multi-line comments that are hard coded or things like that. And I think we should change them in the time.
Yeah, looks like the last release was 2 years ago on PyQNG. Okay, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and unless there's some special reason that we're not aware of why that one was chosen over the official one. But yeah, I think it makes sense to switch to the official one. But
Yeah,
I don't know how much work would be involved making that change. How the APIs differ, etc.
Yeah, the PyQNG is a bit easier to work with, since it's more easier to use. I think looks like the kubectl commands or something, but we need to change it since it's not a standard. If it's maintained now, it will not be maintained later, I think, since it's not optional. Yeah. And, yeah, also we have created the Kubernetes version that is used in the test, and now we have only 2 PRs left, so yeah, the project is more clean working layer right now.
Okay, are we done here then today?
I don't have anything either. So I
Yep.
suppose we are.
Nothing from my side as well. Sounds good.
Okay, cool then. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.